All right. It says that I'm live. Carrie Cottrell is already here. So, really quick, I don't know where you live, but depending on what time zone you're in, you may be able to go out and catch the comet right now. It should appear after sunset. At first, it's pretty faint as the sun's going down. Even after it's below the horizon, it's still pretty faint. But there's a little window of time, maybe about an hour, where you can see it pretty well. So you may want to check that out. Rick 808 says Hawaii. So, okay, well, that's coming your way. So don't miss it. Carrie Cottrell says, hey, Jared, what do you think of the possibility of the second coming happening before 10 years and the 200th year anniversary of the church happening during the millennium? Yeah, I'm not of the opinion that it's going to be 10 years or it can't happen within the next 10 years. I think it could happen anytime. That's always been my view this whole time that I've been doing this channel. And the reason why is because I feel like prophecy, if there's something that is holding you back, you're like, oh, we haven't seen this yet. I wouldn't be so sure. Prophecy may play out in a different way than what you expect. A lot of people get really rigid in their thinking. You know, we haven't seen the two prophets. We haven't seen Armageddon. We haven't seen this, that, as though they know what that's supposed to look like exactly. And what we've studied on the channel is that a lot of times prophecy plays out in natural ways. And unless you have the eyes to see, you're going to miss it. So I have no problem myself with it happening tomorrow. Whichever appearance you pick, it doesn't matter. Okay, Rick 808 says, I like the Christ picture behind you. Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that because this was sent to me by a fellow, by a subscriber. Let me pull up her shop really quick. I'm going to give it some time for people to join anyway. So why don't we take a look at this? Let's go to this view. So this is Ginger McGovern. She is one of my subscribers. She has an Etsy shop called Ginger and Company Print Shop. 5 stars. Look at that. 5 stars. And she sells all these different prints, but you can see over here on the left, she has Christian prints and then Christian digital. And this is from her shop. It's this one right here. It's good quality. I plan on leaving it up because I like this picture. I like the background because it makes me think of Utah or Nevada, Arizona. So anyway, so yeah, I'll put a link for her shop in the chat right now. I'll do this right here. Okay. There's a better way to do this. Hold on. Give me just 1 second. This is what I should have done before. Go like that. Turn the webcam on. Okay. I'm going to put it in the chat. There you go. Okay. Let's see. Michelle says, hey, from Norway. Oh, Michelle, you may have to wait until tomorrow to see the comet. It's probably too late now for you. Same thing with Lorraine from Virginia. Eduardo Velasquez from Monterrey, Mexico. Sorry. Jumpieva. I'm watching it now. Faint, but good camera or binoculars capture it well. This feels like a sign for sure. Look what happened. What's happening in the world. Crochet Mama, good evening from Southeast Missouri. It's a beautiful picture. Yeah, I think so too. I think it goes really well with my background. Sack of Soft Food, Missouri. All right, so Missouri is in the house tonight. Temples of Jesus, this is Mindy. Make sure to subscribe to her channel. We're driving to see it. I guess she's probably like talking into her phone and it's not capturing. I think she's saying we're driving to see it now. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the pictures that I got tonight. So, yeah, it took a while, you know, I thought I would see it sooner, but it took a little while before it appeared. I'm here in Kansas where it's completely flat, but it was after the sun had gone down below the horizon and even, you know, maybe like 10 to 15 minutes after that, then you could start to kind of see it. It was faint. It was the type of thing where, like, if you kind of look at it indirectly, because of the rods and cones in your eyes, if you look at it indirectly, you could start to see it. But then, I don't know, maybe about 20 minutes or so after sunset, then that's when you could definitely see it. And then if you take a picture like what I did here, then you'll get a pretty good image. So I got this one, and then I got this one as well. So I really like these pictures. I'm really happy with these. This is on my Facebook. I also have Instagram. So if you're on Facebook or Instagram, make sure to follow me. There's additional content that I put on here that isn't on YouTube. Okay. Jumpieva, Arizona. Lori Foltz, hello from Alaska. Oh, so you should probably be able to see it pretty soon in Alaska. From what I understand, this is going to be visible like throughout the month of October. Although it's supposed to get fainter and fainter as time goes on. So you may only have a few more days to see it with the naked eye, but let me check something really quick. Let's see. I'm kind of scrambling because I wasn't ready to do this tonight. Let's just go to this USA Today article. Striking photos. Shows stunning once-in-a-lifetime comet soaring over U.S. So this is Comet C2023A3 Sushinshan Atlas. A rare once-in-a-lifetime comet visible once every 80,000 years. This weekend, so I guess referring to the last few days, was one of the better times to spot it, as it's coming out of the sun's glare, said Shannon Schmoll, director of the Abrams Planetarium of Michigan State University. The comet was visible primarily to those in the southern hemisphere and the tropics until about October 8th. Viewers in the northern hemisphere would get more opportunities to catch a glimpse in subsequent days. And that's like right now. NASA said the comet was expected to come an estimated 44 million miles from Earth on Saturday, October 12th. The comet could reportedly be seen with the naked eye, but as Schmoll told the newspaper, viewers would need binoculars as the month progresses. It should be visible throughout the rest of October as well. But as it continues to move, it is going to get higher in the night sky, but farther away from the sun, so less bright. So it looks like you should still be able to see it probably over the next few days. With as well as I could see it tonight, I would assume you could probably still see it over the next few days with the naked eye. So I would not miss this. Now, you'll have to let me know in the chat or in the comments. I said comments. Today, you guys, oh my gosh. Okay. So you'll have to let me know in the chat or the comments. When is the last time that you saw a comet with the naked eye? For me, I'm pretty sure it was back in the 90s when I was a kid, maybe a teenager. I can't remember, but I was living at home with my parents. And I think it was the comet Halley-Bopp. So let me know, what is the last comet that you saw with the naked eye? Not with binoculars, not with a telescope. I feel like it's more significant if you can see it with the naked eye, because then you have a larger audience, a larger number of people that can view it. Janet Manning says, I watched the comment. She said comment with an N with my kids in the 90s. So she just like did a reverse of what I did. Yeah, I think it was Comet Halley-Bopp. Am I right? Do you guys remember? Patsy Reinhardt, hello from Blackfoot, Idaho. Janet Manning, we're talking about the comet. The haystack, I'm looking at the comet now. Haystacks in Idaho. Okay, guys, so if you're in Mountain Time Zone, it sounds like you should probably be able to see it right now. Crochet. So can you only see it earlier in the night? I don't see it now. Yeah, at this point, Crochet Mama, we can't see it here in the Midwest. It's just for about, gosh, I didn't really time it, but it seems like just about maybe an hour at best after sunset. And I'm talking about sunset once the sun is completely below the horizon. Ginny Connolly says, I got pictures of it flying over Utah. Awesome. Top mindset coach, Atlanta, Georgia. Name of comet again. The direction in the sky. Okay, so the name of the comet is, let me just get the whole thing again. It's C2023A3 Sushinshin Atlas. So you'll be able to see it in the west after sunset. And you can only see it for about an hour. Tonight, it wasn't incredibly bright, but you could definitely see it with the naked eye. Let's see. So let me just show you guys something really quick. So I was already tracking this comet. I've been tracking it for a while. I have this spreadsheet called Signs, Comets, Meteors, and Asteroids. And I just haven't been thinking about comets lately. Earlier this year, I was like really looking at this comet, 12P Pons Brooks, because there were some that believed that it would be visible to the naked eye if you were in the path of totality during the April 8th total solar eclipse. I was at the Kirtland Temple. I looked for it. I did not see it, and I'm not aware of anybody else that saw it. But that was the kind of like the big comet earlier this year, 12P Pons Brooks. It was a very interesting comet. It kept changing shapes and colors, and it was a very interesting comet. It was the comet that was known as the Millennium Falcon Comet, or the Devil Comet, because it looked like it had two horns. So it had a couple different nicknames. But then, I just got interested in other things throughout the year, and this kind of went under the radar. But I knew that Sushinshin Atlas was going to come in October. I just forgot about it. And then I was watching, I saw a thumbnail for a video with the YouTube channel, Mr. MBB333. He's a Skywatcher guy. And thank goodness I clicked on that video, because it wasn't explicitly about the comet, but it caught my attention. And excuse me, it caught my attention. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I got to go see it. So we went out and we saw it. So you should still have a few more days. Okay, so you guys, really quick, before you order anything from Ginger's store, okay, just really quick, let's take a little break. So check out the background. You see this Christ picture right here. One that I really like, because like I've said, it kind of looks like he's in like Nevada or Utah or Arizona, where I'm from. Utah and Arizona, that's where I'm from. And so she sent this to me. If you like it, she has an Etsy shop called Ginger and Company Print Shop. And if you click on Christian over here, Christian Prints, she has a bunch of different images of Christ. And if you type in Christian20 for the discount code, okay, Christian, I don't know if it has to be all caps, but all caps Christian20, that'll give you 20% off. Okay, 20% off. Here's the one that she sent me, and I love it. And I think I'm gonna keep it up for a while. So I'll put that in the chat really quick. The discount code Christian20, and then I'll put the link for her shop again. If you could support her, that would be great. Please support a fellow subscriber, and it's good quality. It's like a good quality print. It's not cheap. Okay, so let's go back to this. Let me check the chat. Let's see. Joni, the Joyous Genealogist, make sure to subscribe to her channel, Joyous Genealogist. She's under my feature channels list. She says, can you see it from the Midwest? Yes. Yes, you can. I just about like an hour or two ago. I just took these pictures. So this is like west of where I live, west of town. We went out to the country just a little ways. I got that. And then east of town, earlier, we got this picture. So in case you missed it, in case you're just joining, I think this will be visible over the next few days to the naked eye. But I would not, if you're hearing this now, go outside. If you're like west of the central time zone in the US, I think you should be able to see it in the mountain time zone and Pacific. If you missed it tonight, then make sure to catch it tomorrow. It's just after sunset. It's pretty faint at first, so just give it a little bit, but look west after sunset. Okay. And it's one of those things kind of like the aurora. You can definitely see it with the naked eye, but if you take a picture like this with night mode, then you should get a good picture like this. I'm pretty happy with these pictures. I'm going to try and get some more pictures tomorrow. This is awesome. I was saying earlier, the last time that I saw a comet with the naked eye, I think was Comet Hale-Bopp back in the 90s. I don't know if we've had a comet like this since that time. If you know of any, let me know. Let me know the last comet that you saw with the naked eye. Lori Foltz said should be seen tonight. Thankfully, it's clear. It's been cloudy the last 4 days. Yeah, for us here in Kansas, in south central Kansas, it was a really clear night. One problem was the moon. The moon was pretty bright, so that didn't help. But okay, I'm going to catch up with the chat. Let's see. Spencer, let's see. Hold on. Got to take care of something here. Boop. Spencer Gibson, Mandarin was my mission language. Janet Manning says it was Hayakatek in 1995. Patsy Reinhardt, I went outside to check, only a small white spot. Yeah, it may depend on what time you checked. Because we came to like pick up our kids. We were like, okay, we still have time. We came and picked up our kids. And by the time that we picked them up and headed back out of town, and our town is really small. It only takes like 5 to 10 minutes to drive across town. It was already like really faint by that point. So the haystack, lots of satellites tonight. Windy, do you look towards the west? Yes, it's in the west. Christy Shell, wonder if the clouds will be clear so I can see it in Australia. Unfortunately, Christy, I don't think it's visible in the southern hemisphere anymore. What I had just read on USA Today, it said something to the effect that before October 8th, it was visible in the southern hemisphere, but after that time, it kind of like transitioned to the northern hemisphere. The date that I have, according to this gizmodo.com article, the date that I have for the closest approach to Earth was on the 13th. That was yesterday, which happens to be the day, I'm sorry for the cough, the day after Yom Kippur. So I guess this probably would have been visible on Yom Kippur. So I think that's significant. That's the holiest day on the Jewish calendar. It's like the holiest day of observance that they do. I'm so good at talking today. Guys, today was crazy. You have no idea. Okay, so that's really cool. We have some interesting things going on this year. There's been a lot of signs in the heavens. So let's do it like this. Look. Okay, let me go back to Facebook. So right now, during this period of time, we have this comet that's visible to the naked eye. I don't remember a comet visible to the naked eye since the 90s. That's my experience. Let me know if you've seen one since the 90s. Then, just a few days ago, on the 10th, we had the aurora, the second one this year, which you could see it as far south. Well, I'm not sure how far south you could see it. Well, no, Mindy saw it in Southern California. So most of the U.S. could see the aurora this time, as well as that first time back in May. And then let me see if I can find it here. Okay, so maybe we should do it like this. Okay. So we had this total solar eclipse. This was April 8th. It was the day after conference, and just a month after we purchased the Kirtland Temple, and the path of totality went right over the Kirtland Temple. At this same time, you had this comet, Comet 12P Pons Brooks, which was supposed to be visible during that time. I couldn't see it with the naked eye, but you were supposed to at least be able to see it with binoculars. So we had the total solar eclipse, and then we had that comet. And then just a month later, in May, we had that first aurora display. This is the Pocatello, Idaho temple with the aurora back in May. Okay. So eclipse, comet, aurora. Then fast forward to this general conference, and I don't have a picture of the eclipse, but there was an eclipse on October 2nd, so just a little bit before general conference. And then after general conference, we had another aurora display, and now we have another comet. So I'm taking these as signs due to their proximity to general conference, as well as their proximity to the Jewish feast days, which are also kind of in close to our general conferences. It's just interesting that they're taking place during these particular months and time frames. I don't know if you saw this. I posted this on Instagram and Facebook, and also as a community post on YouTube. Here's the Manti, Utah temple with this most recent aurora. So for the most recent one, the only temple photos that I have are the Kirtland Temple with the aurora, and then the Manti Temple. So if you have any other aurora pictures with temples or any interesting temple photos, if you want to share it with everybody, just send it to me, and I'll post them on Facebook, Instagram, and the YouTube community post area for my channel. This has been a crazy year. Oh my gosh, I wasn't even showing all that. Okay, look. Okay, sorry. I thought okay. So eclipse, right? Eclipse, aurora over the Pocatello, Idaho temple. And then we had that first comet, but I don't have a picture of that. And then fast forward to now, aurora. And then there was the eclipse a few days before. And then we have this comet. Okay. So you can go to my albums on Facebook, go to temple photos. And this is the collection that I have so far. So if you have any interesting temple photos, feel free to send them my way to share with everybody else. Nauvoo Temple. This is Jessica's daughter from Higher Holier History. Make sure to subscribe to her. She took this photo earlier this year, like in July. Smithfield, Utah Temple. This is the Logan, Utah Temple. Payson, Utah. Kirtland Temple. Pocatello, Idaho Temple. And the Layton, Utah Temple. So, you guys, I'm sorry, but these are definitely signs and wonders. They are, especially when it comes to the Kirtland Temple. Let's see. Shandy Muir said, let me know how to pronounce that. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Shandy Muir, I think 2020. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then she says the Neowise 2020. Was that visible to the naked eye? Was Neowise, Comet Neowise, was that visible to the naked eye? If it was, I didn't see it. Don Boffa, we had moon halos here in Australia last night. They're not very rare, but how often do we look up to the heavens? A really cool sighting and a reminder of the signs in the heavens. Lots happening. ATM. LDWMNTBS12. Is it visible in Florida? I believe so. The article that I read said the northern hemisphere. So try and catch it tomorrow after sunset. Shandy says yes. Okay, so Neowise was visible to the naked eye. Dang it. I wish that I would have caught that one. It's really interesting that there was a comet that was visible to the naked eye in 2020. That was an incredible year, a really landmark year, I think. And then this is another landmark year, 2024. Lots of things going on this year. It's another election year. And then we just have all these things going on in the world and in the heavens. Let's see. Amy Loria says, I saw it both times in Lower Alabama. Don Boffa, man, the auroras you shared was crazy. Lots and lots happening in the heavens. There really are. In a year like this, Kirtland Temple, and then President Nelson's last General Conference talk all about the second coming and him really stressing the second coming. Do you think maybe these things could all go together? I think so. Shandy says, this very bright comet remained visible to the naked eye from Earth for a record 18 months. Dang. And you pronounce her last name Meir. With a big smiley face. Jumpy Ava, Israel too. Yep. Yeah, the war started last year, but it's been going on this whole year. There's been some major escalations this year. And that war started 7 days after General Conference and 7 days before the Utah eclipse. Latter-day Lady, I didn't see the comet probably because of the clouds, but also because of my workout. Was it a really intense workout? And were you seeing a different type of stars or something? Yeah, just see if you can see it over the next few days. Jumpy Ava, comet warning for something in Israel. Dome of the Rock issue. I don't know what that's referring to. Cabrio White says, thanks for all you do, Jared. Watching with my husband from West Valley, Arizona, says hello. And for those of you in Utah, West Valley is referring to the west side of the valley in the Phoenix area. It's not like Utah where you have West Valley City. That's where I used to live, in Surprise and in Goodyear, the West Valley. Sherry Johnson, I saw it over the mountain in Sevier County in southern Utah. Cat's plants, too cloudy where I live in Washington. I'm hoping they clear tomorrow. Well, if you're just joining, the article that I read said that it should be visible through the rest of the month, but it's going to get more and more faint. And so it's probably going to get to a point where you can't see it with the naked eye anymore. So probably your best bet, if you missed it tonight, is tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, then the next day. But just keep checking. Oh my gosh, my neck is sore. I think it's how I slept last night. Another thing, let me pull this up. Every time we talk about comets, I need to point this out. I think that comets can serve as a sign and wonder in the heavens, but I always think about what Joseph Smith said about the sign of the Son of Man. Okay, let me see if I can find it here. Okay, so yeah, I'll read this one. Okay. And I'm not saying that this is the sign of the Son of Man. It's supposed to come from the east, and this is like, you can see it in the west, but for all we know, maybe it'll change course. Maybe over the next few weeks, maybe it will start coming from the east. Who knows? Probably not, but we'll see. Okay, Joseph Smith. This is from an April 6, 1843 discourse reported by James Burgess. You can find it on the Joseph Smith Papers website. Christ says, "No man knoweth the day or the hour when the Son of Man cometh." This is a sweeping argument for sectarianism against Latter-dayism, or in other words, the rest of Christianity against a church that believes in living prophets. That's what he's saying. Did Christ speak this as a general principle throughout all generations? Oh no, he spake in the present tense. No man that was then living upon the footstool of God knew the day or the hour. But he did not say that there was no man throughout all generations that should not know the day or the hour. No, for this would be in flat contradiction with other scripture. For the prophet says that God will do nothing but what he will reveal unto his servants, the prophets. Consequently, if it is not made known to the prophets, it will not come to pass. Again, we find Paul, 1 of Thessalonians, 5th chapter, expressly points out the characters who shall not know the day nor the hour when the Son of the Man cometh. For, says he, it will come upon them as the thief or unawares. Who are they? They are the children of darkness or night. But to the saints, he says, ye are not of the night, nor of darkness, that day should come upon you unawares. John the Revelator says, 14th chapter, 7th verse, that the hour of his judgment is come. There are precursors or forerunners of the coming of Christ. Read Matthew 24 chapter and all the prophets. He says, then shall they see the sign of the coming of the Son of Man in the clouds of heaven. How are we to see it? Answer, as the lighting up of the morning, or the dawning of the morning, cometh out of the east, and shineth unto the west. So also is the coming of the Son of Man. The dawning of the morning makes its appearance in the east. It moves along gradually. So also will the coming of the Son of Man be. It will be small at its first appearance, and gradually becomes larger until every eye shall see it. Shall the saints understand it? Oh yes, Paul says so. Shall the wicked understand? Oh no, they attribute it to a natural cause. They will probably suppose it is two great comets coming in contact with each other. It will be small at first and will grow larger and larger until it will be all in a blaze, so that every eye shall see it. And then there's a couple other accounts where he talks about people thinking that it may be a comet or it may be a planet. So they're going to think that it's some kind of just regular celestial phenomenon. Yeah, here's the account that you find in History of the Church. They shall say it is a planet, a comet, etc. But the Son of Man will come as the sign of the coming of the Son of Man, which will be as the light of the morning cometh out of the east. So right now this isn't coming out of the east, but what if something changes and it turns out not to be a comet, or we don't have a very good understanding of what comets are? Okay, excuse me. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take care of this. Boop. Okay, Holly Madsen. Been looking the last 2 days, nothing, too cloudy today. Oregon. Cabria says, yeah, the Star of Jacob. Any info on that? The Vega Star? Not so far. If I remember right, it was supposed to appear by September, but it still hasn't appeared. If you don't know what she's talking about, in the Corona Borealis constellation, okay, which if you look at the Big Dipper, let me show you. Hold on. Let me put it on the screen. Don't forget to put it on the screen. Big Dipper constellation. You don't need to do it all caps, Jared. No, you know what? Let's do it like this. Stellarium. That's what I should have done the first time. Okay. Let's turn on... No, I don't need constellation art. No, maybe I do. You guys, what am I looking at? This is like, I don't know. Freaking. Okay. Corona Borealis constellation. Let's do that. Sorry, I'm like doing it on the fly. Okay, so if you're looking at the Big Dipper, okay, here's the Big Dipper. So these two stars, if you like draw a line, they point to Polaris, which is right here, the North Star. But if you look at the handle, okay, you look at the handle and then you keep going to the left, then you will see this. Okay, you'll see the Corona, oh my gosh. You'll see the Corona Borealis constellation. And it's pretty prominent in the sky. You'll notice it. So anytime now, there's supposed to be, I think it's called a nova. It's not a supernova. It's like this periodic nova or explosion that takes place where you have this like red giant star, and orbiting it, I believe, is a white dwarf. And as it strips away material from the red giant star, it accumulates and the pressure grows, and then it goes nova at a certain rate. And so they're predicting that it's supposed to go nova anytime now. And so it'll look like there's a new star in the Corona Borealis constellation. So it doesn't sound, from everything I've read, it's not going to be like really dramatic looking. It's just going to look like a star that wasn't there before. So, but that's what you do. One more time, you look at the Big Dipper, you follow the handle like this, and it's like right over here. And you'll see this like C-shape constellation of stars. And it's supposed to be over here somewhere. So, okay. Ginger McGovern says, thanks for sharing, Jared. No problem. Let's do it one more time. Okay, so Ginger sent me this picture back here of Christ. This is from her Etsy shop called Ginger and Company Prints or Print Shop. If you go over here, click on Christian Prints, and then it has all of her designs that are images of Christ. And there's a pretty wide variety. She sent me this one right here, and I will put the link in the chat one more time, and you can get 20% off by using Christian, referring to me, I think, 20, because Christian Homestead, Christian 20. Okay, 20% off. Jack Ferris, I want to be like Paul Revere. Jesus is coming. Jesus is coming. Laugh out loud. I know. Well, I think that President Nelson has that honor. I feel like that's what he's doing. How can you come away from this last general conference not thinking that that's what he's doing? Cover Your White, Lyra, Lyra constellation. Like what it's like near there, or that's what it shows up as on Stellarium. Let me just look at it again really quick. Cover it. I don't know. But thank you. If that's what you were trying to do. Jumpieva, I doubt it. You can't kill somebody that was translated unless it was new precedent or resurrected. Oh, you're talking about the two. Yeah, that's a problem. Sometimes people think that the two prophets, the two witnesses, are supposed to be Elijah and Moses, or Elijah and Elias. I've heard different theories, but based on what we've studied on this channel, excuse me. The problem with a prophet who's already passed away is that if they had their body again, they would be resurrected, and they wouldn't die. Once you're resurrected, you're you're alive for the rest of eternity. There's no more death. Translated, I think it's the same thing. I don't think you can kill somebody that's translated by definition. You might say, well, there's still immortality, but I don't think that an unnatural death is part of the plan for a translated being. In the case of Moses and Elijah, for example, they were translated, but what we've studied is that once Christ was resurrected, they were resurrected too, because there was no resurrection available before Christ's resurrection. That's why the city of Enoch were translated. That's why Moses, Elijah were translated, because there was no resurrection available to them. And so they needed to have their physical bodies for things later on, like conveying the priesthood keys. That's my understanding based on what we've studied so far. Valerie Tanner, have you read the Kolob Theorem? It's very interesting. You should read it. I would love to. I know of it. There's a million things that people recommend to me to read and watch and everything, but I only have so much time. Maybe I'll get around to it at some point. Wendy H. Ray, I love the first syllable of the comet's name is pronounced soon with twinkly stars emoji. Yeah, I like that too. That's awesome. Vacation Man, who is the artist of your painting of Jesus behind you? This is a creation of Ginger McGovern. She just commented just a little bit before you. Her Etsy shop, one more time, is right here. It is Ginger and Company Print Shop. So the link is in the description box, or it's in the chat. I'll put it in the description box after this. I'll put it in the chat one more time. All caps, Christian 20 for 20% off. For 20% off. Exclamation point. Porky Baby 1828 dictionary. Translated. Conveyed from one place to another, removed to heaven without dying, rendered into another language. Yeah. Well, in that, I mean, that's from the dictionary, so it's like a more secular understanding of it, or maybe like mainstream Christian understanding of it, but I think it's right. Let's see. The Beach House. Did you see the video by True Millennial where he showed that President Nelson's General Conference talk made references to the Second Coming 7 times? Yes, I did. I did my own video about that afterwards. He got to it first, but let me just show you really quick. I did a video because I needed to add that to my spreadsheet. I have, okay, so look, I have a spreadsheet where I've been tracking these things. The link for my spreadsheet is in the description box of each video, in case you didn't know. Let's go to, my brain could just work today. Prophets 7s. We've noticed many, many times that President Nelson repeats things 7 times. And he did it again in this last General Conference. So, and it's beyond, it's not coincidence. Like, it's very intentional. From September of last year until February of this year, he would do a post once a month where he would repeat a word or phrase 7 times. The first one was on September 21st, Moroni Day, the day that Moroni met with the prophet Joseph Smith. He repeated Book of Mormon 7 times in that social media post. And then 7 days later, he did it again. The word was conference. And then each month after that, he would do a post with 7. And then on that 7th month, it was March of this year, the Kirtland Temple came back into the church. And then he stopped in April. And then he picked back up in May, in June, and then he stopped. So the most recent example that I have of him doing a 7 is from this talk. Another interesting thing about it, So here's the video right here. Where is it? Right here. Second coming, 7 times 7. We have noticed that, well, he has said that like, at least in the case of the give thanks video that he did in November 2020, that he received instructions from the Lord in the night of how long the video was supposed to be and what day it was supposed to be published and what time of day. He received very specific instructions. And so when you look at his general conference talks, it may not be like that with all of them, but in the case of this general conference talk, it was 14 minutes long, which is 7 times 2, and 49 seconds, which is 7 times 7. So there were a lot of sevens going on with that talk, and I'm still going through that talk because there's a lot more to talk about. It's just, it'd be hard to get it all in one video. So you have that to look forward to in the coming days. I'm not going to have one for tomorrow morning because today was bonkers. But I will have one tomorrow, and then I'll try and get back to my regular schedule. Jack Ferris, the Sahara Desert flood a few days ago. Okay, the Sahara Desert flood a few days ago too. They got a year's worth of rain in 2 days. I feel like we're starting to see more and more of that around the world, like where you get a location that'll get like a whole month or a whole summer's worth or a whole year's worth of rain in a very short time frame. So I didn't see that though, but that's crazy. Amy Luria, do you think the people that we do work for in the temple, okay, wait. Do you think the people that we do work for temple that we're doing in work will be coming with the Savior at his second coming? I think so. If you're asking if like once somebody has their work done in the temple and they've accepted it and they're worthy of the first resurrection, yes, I think so. I tend to think that that's partly why there's a hurry to get temple work done, because maybe you don't get resurrected to whichever glory you're worthy of until you have your temple work done. Because it's like, say that you're worthy of the celestial glory. You may have to have all your work done first, and then once that's completed and once you've accepted it, then you proceed to resurrection. I think that might be how it works. I'm not sure. What I do know, and one thing that we've studied on the channel, is that resurrected people will not do their own work. If they could just get resurrected and do their own work, then we wouldn't need to do the work for them. But Joseph Fielding Smith and Bruce R. McConkie have talked about that. So I guess we'll see. But that's what I believe and what I currently understand. Valerie Tanner, it talks about the universe and where Kolob is, and it's true, and it's the true center of the universe, etc. It's a really short read. I have it on Audible, and it's only a couple hours. I think you'd really like it. Oh, I'm sure I would. But what I would also like is a couple hours to be able to do that. This month has been crazy. Went to Utah, did all the stuff there. Now I'm back, and now I'm getting ready to go back to Utah in about 2 weeks. There's still some spots, you guys. So we're having a meetup. It's going to be me and Jen from Christian Fire Poppy and Rachel from Women in Priesthood. I'm not sure if Troy's going to be there. His schedule's kind of, I can't guarantee Troy at this point, but if you're interested in coming, it's going to be Saturday, October 26th from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. So send me an email. And then like the day before, then we'll send you the exact address. I have to control how many people come because we can only have so many people at a time. but there's still spots available. They're half-hour slots if you want to come. And then I may do some other just random get-togethers, like maybe at a temple. I plan on doing some temple videos, like where I just walk around the temple grounds and take a video, because that's what I did for the Saratoga Springs, Utah temple when we were there last time, and that was a really fun video to make. So oh, and then Amy clarifies, yes, that is what she was trying to say about people needing to have their temple work done before being resurrected. And then further, she says, I feel like they're going to be our personal angels when they come down. And that's just awesome to know. They'll be looking for us, thanking us for the ability to be present. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I've done some videos where, like Brigham Young and maybe others, but I remember Brigham Young saying that, like, what will happen in the millennium is that angels or resurrected beings, they have the records from the spirit world. And so as we're doing the work of the millennium, we're doing all this temple work, they will deliver the records that we were unable to get ourselves. You know, because with genealogy, you can only go back so far. There's people that have lived, who knows how many, that have no record anywhere. So for right now, like, we do the best that we can. But during the millennium, there are records that are kept in the spirit world, and they'll be delivered to us. Ginger McGovern says, too bad I'll miss your meetup. I'm going to Utah this weekend. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Well, maybe another time. I don't know if, like, coming to Utah is going to become a yearly thing for me. I have no idea. There's like a couple conferences that are going on. There's the, like, Scripture Central had like their first ever kind of like conference for LDS influencers. It sounds like they're going to do it again. I hope that they do, because it was a very spiritual experience and I love all those people. And then there's the Firm conference, and I'm just going to speak once this time. I was going to speak all 3 days, but that kind of seems a little bit too intense for me. I don't know if I can do all 3 days. So I'm just going to speak the one day on Saturday. It's going to be at 10 a.m. If you're at the Firm conference, then feel free to stop by. Let's see. Breakaway 34, temple videos would be interesting. Loved the last one. I did too. That was a video. I love making all my videos, but there's this YouTube channel called Retail Archaeology. I just like his personality, and I like just his insights, and he'll go around and he'll film dead malls. Sometimes he'll go into like retail stores, like Big Lots, and he just kind of like documents the retail landscape of right now. And I find his videos very relaxing. And I've always wanted to like be able to do something similar, but explore temple grounds. So I have my first one, the Saratoga Springs, Utah temple. And if I'm able to travel some more, then I'm going to try and do more temples. It's fun. Latter-day Lady says, just went to my home temple's open house this past weekend. The Deseret Peak Temple is so beautiful. The Cliff Rose motif on the stained glass windows is beautiful. Yeah, you know, I may actually try and go to that open house. If it's okay, how long is it going for? Let me look at the dates. Deseret Peak Temple open house. It goes until the 19th. Dang it. I'm not going to be there for that. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. That's great. Latter-day Lady. Maybe next time, some other temple. It's been a while since I've gone to an open house. I think the last one I went to may have been the Draper. Utah temple. And Latter-day Lady says, haha, I love watching retail archaeology videos. It's a good channel to watch. It's mostly clean. Sometimes he swears, but other than that, it's like pretty good. It's like a good family. It's usually a pretty good family channel to watch. It's relaxing, it's mellow, and it's interesting. Ginger says, by the way, my mom thought your Saratoga Temple video was really great. Good, I'm glad. If I'm able to do enough of them, I'll probably like make a playlist and just have it be a separate playlist. So really quick, just for if you're joining in just now, there's this comet. I think you'll be able to see it over the next few days. The article I read said that you should be able to see it through the end of the month, but you'll probably need binoculars if it gets too late in the month. So try and catch it tonight after sunset if you haven't had sunset yet in your area, or try and catch it tomorrow. It's in the west. And I'll just remind you how this year has gone. In April, we had the total solar eclipse. The path of totality went over the Kirtland Temple a month after we purchased the temple, which I think is significant. During that time, you had 12P Pons Brooks, which was a comet, and it made its closest approach to Earth around that time. And it was supposed to be visible if you were in the path of totality, I think with binoculars, because I didn't see it with the naked eye. And then a month later, you had the aurora. So eclipse, comet, aurora. Fast forward to October, same thing. We had a total solar eclipse just a few days before General Conference. And then there was an aurora display. And then right now we have this comet. And let me just show you some pictures really quick in case you weren't here earlier. So here are the pictures that I took tonight. I would encourage you to take pictures tonight or tomorrow. Here's the aurora from May of this year. Layton, Utah Temple, Pocatello, Idaho Temple. Here was the eclipse. As the eclipse was in progress, one of my subscribers, Floyd Gowans, took this amazing picture. Here's just a rainbow in the Basin, Utah Temple. This was May, the Logan, Utah Temple. Smithfield, Utah Temple in May. Just a nice sunset at the Nauvoo Temple. Just a nice temple photo. And then October, here's the aurora over the Kirtland Temple. And another one. And then this is also the October aurora over the Manti, Utah Temple. Which is pretty good, actually, because the Manti, Utah Temple was rededicated this year, right? Wasn't it this year? Let me just double check. Yeah, because Elder Razband, he talked about it in conference because it had happened between conferences. And that's the one where President Nelson made a surprise appearance, which I think is a little foreshadowing of the second coming. And I think that's why Elder Razband shared that story. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I'm also on X. I think I'm going to move away from doing these like AI images and just stick to like real images and just post things that are like, I don't know. I'm gonna step away from the AI on Instagram and Facebook because I like how these other ones look better. I think it's better. I took this picture of the Salt Lake Temple. This is when I was at the conference center. I think that this is highly significant. I really do. Okay. Well, I think we're going to wrap up. Does anybody else have anything to say? Wings over Wyoming. 2 temples in Wyoming has been started. That's exciting. My next video is going to be about the temple announcements and some interesting things about that. So that'll probably be out by 1 p.m. Central tomorrow. Janet says, I would love to be able to see you and meet you. However, I cannot leave my house since my husband has dementia. Well, maybe we can meet up in the millennium, Janet. It'll happen at some point. Ginger says, dang, your channel subscriber numbers are hastening as well. You might reach the goal of 10,000 Books of Mormon sooner than expected. Well, no, we already hit 10,000. Now we're trying to get to 50,000. But I don't think I don't think I'm going to be able to get back to the Flood the Earth challenge until like probably after October. This month is just too busy, and it's really time consuming updating everybody's stuff. And then Ginger says the signs in heaven are very cool. Yeah. And hopefully significant. I think it's very significant. I really do. Okay. Well, that's going to be it for this one. So thank you for joining me. Make sure to catch the Comet tomorrow or the next night, but I would highly recommend tomorrow night if you missed it tonight. Take pictures. Well, and especially if you can get a picture with the temple, that would be really cool. Try and get a picture of your local temple with the comet, and we can add it to the album for everybody to enjoy. Caitlin from Anticipating Christ's Return is here at the very end. Hey, Caitlin, did you get to see the comet? She told me, she texted me saying that her and her family were going to Antelope Island, which is an island in the Great Salt Lake, to see if they could see it. I'll wait for Caitlin's response. Lori Faults, waiting with bated breath for the comet in Alaska, maybe in 10 to 15 minutes. Good. Caitlin says, dang, I'm late. Laughing face with tears. Were you able to see the comet, Caitlin? I hope that you were. Again, the last time that I saw a comet with the naked eye was in the 90s. I think it was Comet Halley-Bopp. Earlier in the chat, people said that you could see Comet Neowise in 2020, and somehow I missed that. Maybe it's because I was only at that time like really starting to get into the Second Coming, and I wasn't paying attention to those things too much. But Caitlin says, yeah, but it was really faint. Darn it. Do you think it was really faint because of the time that you saw it, or because of you were still too close to a populated area? That might be another thing, you guys. You might need to kind of like drive out away from the lights to see it. Like as like the sun is going down after it's below the horizon, you can't really see it. It's very, very faint. But if you wait just a little while, maybe like 15 to 20 minutes, you start to like see it pretty well. And then it only lasts for a little while before it starts to get faint again. So the King says, what are your thoughts on Trump referring to the white horse prophecy last night at LDS Fireside? I don't know. I didn't catch it. I've done videos about the Constitution hanging by a thread. I don't believe it's like a singular event based on what previous presidents of the church have said and apostles. So I don't know. It could be significant. I'm not sure. White horse prophecy. I'm not sure what that is, unless it's referring to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. But in our church, those 4 horsemen are associated with the first 4 seals, which represent the first 4,000 years of Earth's temporal existence. When you go to Doctrine and Covenants 77, verse 7, I can't remember. It talks about how the seals are 1,000-year periods, and those 4 horsemen are associated with the first 4,000 years. Caitlin says, I think there was too much light. Darn it. Well, maybe you can catch it tomorrow, or maybe not, but I'll take more pictures so you can enjoy my pictures that I've taken. Everybody make sure to subscribe to Caitlin, Anticipating Christ's Return. She's under my featured channels list, so you can find her there. Okay. Well, now I'm going to go ahead and take off. So again, thank you for joining me. Hope I get to see some of you in a couple weeks here in Utah. And let's just keep watching for these signs of the times. This is crazy. It's been a crazy year. It's been a really crazy year. I'll talk to you guys later.